All right, so today we're going to explore the Wubbers University Microsoft Word template, which is a template that we've created to help make writing tutorials a lot easier, a lot faster, and a lot more organized. It also has the added benefit of helping us get your tutorials up as fast as possible. We've had great success with it, and we're hoping that it's something that you can use. So let's get started. First, we're going to take a look at what we're calling the Wubbers University template. And this particular version is 1.5. We'll be changing that as we refine it. But the first thing you'll notice when you look at the file name is that it ends with .docx. A .docx file is a Microsoft Word template file. You might know that Microsoft Word files usually have an extension of .doc or .docx. That's a standard Word file. If you're using a template file, it's going to end with .docx. So if I double click on this, you'll notice that the document that I open now is not the WU template version 1.5 DOTX. What it's done is it's used this particular file to create a brand new document, and that document is using a template. So it has a lot of things that you can just simply change, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. All right, the first thing you want to do when you get started though is you open up a new document. You then want to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a save as. And this is very similar for the Mac or the PC, but just use whichever you're most familiar with. I'm going to go ahead and name this CATS tutorial number 2. So I'm just going to give it a name, CATS tutorial 2. And I'm going to save that. All right, so you'll see that up here the name has been changed and I'm now working on that document. All right, the other thing I'm going to do to get started is I'm going to make sure that I have my photos handy. So I've opened up a window that I can actually see when I have my Word document here, and then I have the folder that has all the photos over here. And so I can actually see those and drag them into the document. All right, and you'll see on this particular one, I already have the photo changed. There is a place for a photo of your finished project, and that's going to be here up at the top. Some other things to take notice of is there's a place for your tutorial name. So what you'll end up doing is highlighting this and changing that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can click and drag. You'll notice in this case when I do that, the picture is actually also selected. So you want to try and click and drag without catching that picture, and it's kind of hard to do on this one. Anyway, there it is, and I'm just going to call it CATS Geometric Barrette Tutorial. Right? And then I'm going to change the artist's name, so you can click and drag and then type your name, so Kat Kramer. Right? Down below this, you'll notice that there's a paragraph, and what the paragraph is for is to put a little intro paragraph about your project. It's not bio information about you as an artist, but instead more information about the project. If you'd like to start editing this, what you can do is click 3 times very quickly. It's a triple click, so 1, 2, 3, and you select the entire paragraph, and then you can just start typing. So you'll type, this is my wonderful barrette tutorial. I make these out of silver and brass, and they are great sellers at shows. Okay, so just something nice and short and friendly, and you have several paragraphs you can work with. If you don't need them, you can triple click and then press the delete key. So if you just want to get rid of something like that, you can do that. All right, some other things to take note of. There's a materials list. A materials list is going to be anything like silver or brass or solder, things that actually end up in your project. Below that is a tools list. You'll notice that the tools list is also a bulleted list, and it's also divided up into columns. So this one actually has 2 columns. In some cases, we'll have 3. But these are all set up for you, so all you have to do is basically click and drag, or you can triple click and just type soldering torch. Okay, hit return and you can type pickle pot. Okay, we generally only capitalize the first letter of the item, and unless it's actually a formal name. So, for example, if you had Prips Flux, and the formal name was Prips Flux, you would actually capitalize both of those. With Wubbers, we actually are using the formal names of our Wubbers. So if you type in what you think it is, we'll go ahead and fix that for you if you don't know. Okay, one last thing is you'll notice down below the material and tool list, you'll see that there's another table. And if you scroll, you'll notice that there's more places that you can put photos and text. All right, so if you wanted to start typing in this one, you can actually just start typing by triple clicking in that paragraph, and then you just start typing and say, this is the first step of my tutorial. Okay, generally, if you wanted to add photo one or step one, something like that, you can triple click this item here, which is a title, and you can type in step one. All right, make sure you spell it correctly. If you wanted to get rid of any of this other information here, you can triple click and hit the delete key. If you triple click on that last one, notice it selects the whole paragraph. So you could click and drag and delete, okay, and get rid of any extra spaces. Okay, with the photos, what you do is you see that we have a photo placeholder here. And so I'm going to go drag my photo. I've named them, for example, over here. You can see it's photo 01, photo 02. Sometimes the computer won't sort them correctly if you just put photo 1, photo 2, photo 3. By adding the 0 to it, it makes sure that it sorts them correctly and makes them as easy as possible to put in. All right, so what I need to do is I need to select this first photo by clicking once on it. I click back on my Microsoft Word document, and then I go back over here and then click and drag. Okay, so the trick here is that you're not clicking twice, you're only clicking once. So I can scroll to the next one. Again, I've got it in position. I go over here and I click once in the photo. I'm going to click back over here so I can actually see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to click and drag. And once you get the hang of that, it's actually pretty easy to do. So again, let's see if I could even just grab photo 3. I can, and just drag it in. And you'll notice it tries to kick the page back up. It scrolls in some cases. You don't want to do that. And for example, this might be photo 4, so I just continue to drag photos in. Up, you can see it actually scrolled again. So if I click on it and then go to photo 5 and drag it in, it actually doesn't scroll. So as long as you have an item selected over here and then go click and drag the photo, it won't scroll. All right, so you'll get the hang of that. The other thing that we can do, if you would like to, we generally will resize these photos to be 2.7 inches. So if you click once on the photo, you'll notice up here at the top, the Format Picture tab has been highlighted. If you click on that, there is a width box over here. So once the photo is selected, you can double click up here in the width box and just type 2.7 and hit enter. And just go down the list, click the next one. Oh, I click 3 times on this one, 2.7. Click on the next picture until it's selected. See how it has handles? This means it's selected. And then type 2.7. And so you can resize these all at once. All right, so you'll get really good at triple clicking here. All right, and then once all of the photos are in, that's when I go back and I start typing the instructions that go with the photos. That tends to make it a little bit easier. For example, here I can triple click, type step 2, and notice it selected the whole thing, so I want to actually click and drag. Here is some information for step 2. You'll also notice that when you type a paragraph, for example, this is just random, okay? When I hit return and start typing again, it actually gives me a break in my paragraphs, so I don't have to hit return twice. You'll also notice that because of the way this is set up, it centers the text vertically in each one of the cells. All right, there's one last little maintenance thing to do, and you'll see that there is actually a footer down here at the bottom of the page. If you double click on that, you can actually highlight this, and this is going to be the same title that's at the top. So Cat's Geometric Barrette Tutorial. So I'm just going to go down here and call it, it's same thing, Cat's Geometric Barrette Tutorial. And then go over to the right hand side and you're going to actually put your name. And you'll notice that it's copyright 2013, your name. If you'd like to add a business name as well, you can put a little ampersand and then put your business name. All right, so whatever you're comfortable putting down there, your tutorial is your property and is copyrighted by you. All right, so I'm going to talk about one last thing. For example, here within the tutorials template, we are using something called styles. And I have a quick handout on this that gives a little bit more information. But you'll notice if I click somewhere in this paragraph and I'm under the Home tab, okay, if I click it, it goes away. If I click it again, you'll see it. But if I put my cursor somewhere, you'll notice that a style up here is highlighted in blue. So anything up here in this section is actually a normal style. If I click up here in the Geometric Barrette tutorial, it's using a heading 1. If I click in the name, it's using a heading 2. So these things that look alike are actually using the same style. If you look down here in the list, you'll notice if I click in the list, it's using a supplies list. Same thing down here, supplies list. Down in the steps, it's using a heading and it's also using steps. All right, so what that means is if I were to come up here into the tool list and highlight things and then choose steps, all of a sudden my bullets go away. I don't want to do that. So by choosing the correct style, it's going to format this just as we would need it to be for our purposes, and also has some nice consistency for your tutorial. Okay, so the only thing that you have to do is if, say for example, if this gets out of whack and it's not not quite the right font or something, let's say that maybe it's been switched to Arial or you copied and pasted something and the style is wrong. All you do is you put your cursor somewhere in that paragraph and then you go up to the styles menu and you just click it. You click the style and notice it's now the consistent style that it should be. All right, so that's a pretty quick tutorial of the template. I'll go ahead and show you one more thing. There are a lot of spaces for you to put steps. If you needed to go in and actually delete those steps, there's instructions down here at the bottom. Okay, if you wanted to say like delete these last 4 steps, you're going to put your cursor here, click, and drag across until those are selected, and then hit the delete key. And you'll get a box that asks you if you want to delete cells, if you want to shift them left, and just click OK. And the boxes go away. If you wanted to add another cell though, let's say that you needed to add more, what you can do is you can click in this box and then look up here under table layout. You'll see it's been highlighted. So click in table layout, and I want to add cells below this. So I can look up here for the icon that says below, and I can click that as many times as I need to add more items. Then I can click and drag to highlight these items on this row and go to the edit menu and choose copy, and it's actually not letting me do it. So see if I can do it this way. Nope, it's not letting me do it. So anyway, you can triple click to highlight this and copy, click in this cell and then paste. I can click on this one, copy, and then come down to this one and paste. In this case, I'm using the right click on my mouse. You could also triple click, and it's still, again, it's not letting me copy. But if I right click with my mouse, it is letting me do it. Then I can come down here. If I'm more comfortable, I can use edit. It says paste or paste cells. I find it easier to use the right mouse button and paste. Click on this. Go to the edit menu. It still doesn't let you do it. So let's right click, copy, and then right click and paste. Okay, so that way you can add more items and drag more photos in if you'd like. One last thing, there are some review questions, and we actually do use these with Wubbers University. So when we get your tutorial, we will actually create some questions for you. If there's some things that you'd like to reinforce within your project, you can go ahead and try and type some questions. We may edit them for you a little bit, but all you have to do is you just triple click and then you can start typing a question. So you might say, what type of metal is used in this project? Add a question mark. You triple click the answer, sterling silver, nickel silver, and I'm triple clicking and then I just start typing. Copper. I'm not using the delete key. All I'm doing is I'm actually triple clicking to select it and then I just start typing. All right, so that's how you change a question. If you'd like, when you're done, if you know what the correct answer is, you can also triple click that. And then under the home, the home tab, you can choose B for bold and let us know what the correct answer is. Chances are we can probably figure it out, but if you'd like to highlight that for us, that'll make our job a little bit easier. So that is about it for the tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to email us and let us know. We'll be happy to help.